everybody, welcome back to Movieverse. My name is Brian, and today I'll be doing a review for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. That is right, we are finally here after 3 years since Man of Steel came out. We finally have the sequel to that, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I was lucky enough to attend a special IMAX fan screening of the movie last night. Me and Jason were able to see that basically a week early. It was funny when we went there. They patted us down. They had security wands, making sure nobody had any type of recording device that they could record the movie on and upload it later. So that was interesting. But I was very excited to be able to see this movie early enough to get you guys a review for it before the movie actually hits theaters. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into. This is going to be a non-spoilers review, so it's going to be pretty short. We're just going to talk about very general topics of the movie. So we're going to talk about the tone, what the tone was like, the characters, and just what overall just what I thought about the movie. So a lot of people that saw Man of Steel or who had complaints about Man of Steel was that it was really dark. It wasn't uplifting Superman story, that type of thing, which I don't have anything against people who think that. I personally loved Man of Steel, so I was really excited to get back into this world with this DC extended universe, this cinematic universe for DC films. And was Batman v Superman dark? Yes, but tonally it felt different from Man of Steel. Man of Steel was kind of like what the Dark Knight trilogy was for Batman. It was a more grounded, realistic take on what would actually happen if this superpowered being landed on Earth and became Superman, that kind of thing. Now this movie still has references to that movie, but tonally it just feels a little bit different. It feels very much like a comic book movie. There's a lot of action sequences that kind of lend to that, a lot of Easter eggs and little cameos there for fans and stuff like that. But overall, the tone, yes, it was dark, but it felt much more like a comic book than, say, Man of Steel or the Dark Knight trilogy. As far as the characters go, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I actually really did like Jesse Eisenberg's version of Lex Luthor. It's not like the Lex Luthor that you would expect from the comics. No, it's not that. But the way that they portrayed Lex Luthor in this movie, I actually really enjoyed. I found myself actually smiling when he was on camera. And yes, I mean the one scene that you see from Lex Luthor at the party with Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, that scene for Lex is kind of cringeworthy still for me. But the rest of the movie, I really liked his character and his character's arc. The next character that I want to talk about is Ben Affleck's Batman. Now, I really did like this Batman, except there were some questionable choices for the direction of this specific Batman. I'm not going to say what it is for those of you who haven't seen the movie yet. But as far as There are some scenes in this movie with Batman where I'm just like, yes, perfect. That is the Batman from either the Arkham video games, the DC animated movies, or even the comics. There's a lot of things in there that make you want to get up out of your seat because you're so happy that you're finally seeing it on the screen. And that includes Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and Henry Cavill's Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman continues on what they built with Man of Steel. It continues to flesh out that character more, and I really enjoyed that. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, the dialogue for her in this movie is very slim, but as far as her scenes as Wonder Woman in action, I really enjoyed. Jeremy Irons as Alfred, he was a different Alfred, but he was also very kind of snarky to Bruce Wayne or Batman. There's some back and forth going on between them. So it was they handled it differently. This Alfred's more of a grease monkey than he is just a butler. And when he is doing butler duties, he's kind of making jabs at Bruce. So that was fun to watch. So I liked all the characters in this movie. There's some questionable things with Batman where I was kind of just like, I don't know about that. But, we'll talk more about that when we can actually get into specifics when we do a spoiler review. Hopefully I'll have, Jason or Greg or whoever here to do that with me. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It's 2.5 hours, but it flew by. Like there was no part of this movie where I was bored, which is a testament to the pacing of the movie. We all know that Zack Snyder has come out and said that the director's cut for this movie will be 3 hours long, so that's an extra 30 minutes of footage. And there are parts in this movie where you kind of see that something was taken out, but you're not really sure what you're missing. So I'm really interested to see what those scenes are, and in the context of the general film itself. And I wanted to say as well that the parts of the trailer that we've seen, people saying, oh, you ruined Doomsday reveal for us, or oh, you ruined this for us. All I can say to that is that you don't have the context of which those scenes happen. You might think that, oh, this is the context for this specific fight sequence or this specific dialogue or whatever. But until you go in and you see the movie and you see the context of what that dialogue is about, or what just happened before that fight scene or during that fight scene, you're going to get a lot of that context in the movie that really fleshes out those scenes that we've seen in the trailer. And I think that the movie actually did a really good job of, they showed us, specific moments in the trailer, but the context that the movie gives you makes those scenes so much better. So I really enjoyed that part of this movie. And Batman v Superman did a really great job of setting up the overall DCEU. They did things, and there's been, reports that have come out about certain cameos. I'm not going to mention what characters, but certain cameos in the movie. And a lot of people were feeling like, oh man, are they just, cramming this movie full of people? Is it going to feel forced? To me personally, it didn't feel forced, and I really enjoyed what I saw, and it did a great job of expanding this universe so that when Wonder Woman and Justice League come out in 2017, it's already done some of the the spine of the story building or the world building. So those were all some good things that I noticed from the movie. Honestly, I didn't have that many gripes with the movie. Like I said, the 2.5 hours went by really quickly, which I think is a testament to how good the movie is. If the movie was 2.5 hours, but it seemed like it was dragging on forever, I would have a little bit more concern of the quality of the movie or some other things. But there will be some controversial topics that will be discussed, this weekend throughout the film geek community, as far as how certain characters were portrayed or some creative choices that were made for some characters, I think. But that's a discussion for a spoiler-filled review. There's not a lot that I can say about this movie that wouldn't spoil something for you guys. There's a lot of epic moments in this movie, and a lot of moments that I personally did not see coming. But when it did happen, the testament to a good movie is whether or not it can affect you emotionally, and this movie did that. I wasn't crying or anything like that, but like it does affect you in a way where you're just like, you can feel the gravity of the situation, or the pain or the happiness or whatever. You feel the emotion that the characters and the actors are trying to portray through the screen, and what the director is trying to get you to feel from the movie. And I think that the movie, for me, did that very well. And I can't wait to see this movie again so I can actually take in more of the information that's given to me, because this is a very dense movie. There's a lot of things going on. So it's kind of like, for me, whenever I watch an Avengers movie or a Star Wars movie for the first time, you're sitting there looking at the movie in awe, just trying to soak up as much as you can and enjoy the ride. But it's not until those repeat viewings, when you go back, that you really start to catch some of the Easter eggs and some of the minor details that flush out a scene or a character so much more. But especially with this movie, like I said, with the director's cut, that's going to be 3 hours long, so 30 minutes of extra footage. I really want to see some more not that there wasn't enough development for the characters, but I just want to see some more fleshing out of specific characters or specific scenes, which I think that we'll get with that director's cut. So I'm really looking forward to getting that when it comes out on Blu-ray. Who knows how long it'll be before that comes out. But yeah, like I said, I hope I go see this movie multiple times in the theaters. I highly suggest that you guys go to see this. If you liked Man of Steel, go see this movie. You'll like this movie. If you didn't like Man of Steel, I would say still go see this movie, and it might redeem itself to you. Me personally, I liked Man of Steel, so it didn't have any redeeming to do to me. But in my personal opinion, whether or not you like Man of Steel, you definitely owe it to yourself and to these characters that we've waited so long to see on the big screen. You owe it to yourself to go see this movie at least once, in my opinion twice, so you can catch all the minute details and really get a bigger perspective of what the story is trying to tell you. As of this moment right now, I was debating whether or not I was going to give it a score out of 10, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I might change this by the time I do my spoilers review once I've had a little bit more time to think about it. But as of right now, my score for this movie is an 8.9 out of 10, and that is a very high score. This movie has a lot of oh my god moments. You'll be clapping in the theater when certain parts happen. You might be like, what, at some parts, but overall, I think it's a very strong introduction to this beginning of this DC extended universe or DC Films universe or whatever you want to call it. I think it did a great job of setting up the foundation for where these movies can go from now, because a lot of people say, well, yeah, Man of Steel was the first movie in this expanded universe, but I think that this movie is the beginning of this expanded universe, because it's starting with, it gives you the building blocks of where they can go from here. And I just want to reiterate that I really did enjoy Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, because I was hesitant about his portrayal of Lex Luthor from the first moment that I heard that he was cast. But for this version of Lex Luthor, it's a modernized version of Lex Luthor, and that could, you can take that for what you want. But for this version of Lex Luthor, I think he did a really good job. I really enjoyed that character when he was on screen. Yeah, there was a lot of times where I was smirking, because he is a very smart character, and you definitely see that from this movie. But yeah, like I said, an 8.9 out of 10, guys. Overall, a very strong introduction to the DCEU. I highly suggest you guys go see it at least once, probably twice, I think would be, so you can get the best experience possible out of it. Luckily enough, this IMAX fan experience screening was IMAX with no 3D, which I was very happy with that, because for me, whenever I go see IMAX 3D, it seems like the colors dim down a little bit. You have to, wear these glasses, and for me, it takes away from the experience. So this IMAX, just solely IMAX experience, was great. I really enjoyed it. I just want to thank Warner Brothers for putting on that fan experience for everybody like me who went last year to see the trailer screening. Even though the trailer was leaked online, I was like, I'm still going to support this thing, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the movie. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Oh, and before I forget, look at this. I got this awesome Batman shirt that came in the mail yesterday when I got home from work, just in time for me to wear it to go see the movie, and I had to wear it for you guys when I did my review. So I love this. It even has a utility belt down by the waist. Makes me look like I got some muscle tone, but so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure that you subscribe to Movieverse for all of our videos, whether it be movie reviews, movie news segments on the weekends, trailer reactions, do some unboxing videos, that type of thing. And also you can follow us on all of our social medias at facebook.com/movieverseonline. Twitter handle is movieverse2. Instagram handle is movieverseonline. Movieverseonline.com. We have Shad. He's our writer. He puts out a bunch of articles, some opinionated pieces that are really interesting reads. So I can't wait for him to see Batman v Superman and write us up an article about that. I can't wait to see what his perspective is on a lot of the things that happened in this movie, because he knows a little bit more about DC than I do. And also, make sure that you email us questions at movieverseonline@gmail.com to get them answered on our movie news show. So if you have any questions that pertain to Batman v Superman, send them into our email, and we can talk about them on our movie news show. And make sure you keep an eye out for our spoiler filled review coming later in the week once people have gotten a chance to see the movie. Probably either this weekend or sometime next week we'll get that spoiler filled review out there with hopefully Jason or Greg or whoever is able to make it at that point. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment down below what you thought about the movie, but don't spoil the movie for anybody in the comment section. I will be keeping an eye on that, so if you post spoilers, I am going to delete your comment automatically. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' feelings about the movie in general in the comments. And subscribe to Movieverse, guys. I will catch you next time.